Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you have not already watched, I'm just building on this little swatch that's going to go in the washer and dryer soon. One of my videos, I did the rib stitch. Go back and watch that video if you don't know how to do the rib stitch. And this next one, this nice little textured pattern, that's the seed stitch. Okay, if you want to learn how to seed stitch, go watch that video. Okay, in this tutorial though, I'm going to teach you how to do the bobble stitch. Okay, the bobble stitch or the bubble stitch, I've seen it written in books both ways, bobble, bubble, whatever. Okay, but either way, it's that cute little thing that has like a little boop, boop, boop. It's super cute. So first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a nice flat area. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to knit all of these stitches across. And I'm going to do knit across and then I'm going to purl. So I'm going to count this as my right side row. I'm going to knit all the way across. And then when I turn my work, I'm going to purl. Now, that is stockinette. So if you knit the knits and purl the purls, and you're constantly just knitting one row and purling the other row, that will create the stockinette stitch. Stockinette stitch is another video that I recorded. So if you're not sure what a stockinette stitch is, either look it up or go watch that video that I've got recorded. Okay. Again, thank you for coming to my channel. And I'm going to go through, and like I said, I'm just knitting, and I do knit continental. I think I've said that in a couple of my videos. So I'm going to go ahead and knit all these stitches all the way across. So row 1, knit. Row 2, purl. That's that wrong side row. And I'm going to do 2 rows of knits and purling. Well, 4 rows total. So I'm going to do, there's my right side row. I just finished it. Boom, I'm done. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to purl. And you can see they're all purl stitches now. And with stockinette, like I said, you just knit the knits and you purl all the purls, but each row will be a straight up knit row or a straight up purl row, depending on if you're on the right or the wrong side. So right now, like I said, I'm doing stockinette, which is a great review if you are new to knitting. And I'm going to keep going. And my yarn's I need to unravel it a little bit more. Come on, you guys, let's go. It is like stuck around. Inside, it's around it and it's kind of getting stuck. If you have not checked out any of my other videos, please check out the yarn hauls and let me know if you checked out or you got into any sales in your area that you might want to suggest to me. We have a few like yarn shops that are really like local owners. We've got Yarn and Y'all, and then we've got another one, and I think it's in Easley, and it's some kind of Fiber Arts, I think. They're both wonderful shops. One of them's like does a lot of looming, and I've always wanted to learn how to loom, but I have not had the time to learn how to loom. I'm still trying to perfect. Well, I'm not trying to buy another piece of equipment, and I know what I want. If you are familiar with looming, please give me some information on that, because I really do. That's going to be my next venture is loom. All right, so I am creating that stockinette stitch. I'm on the right side. I'm going to knit this row, and then after that, after I build up, I want to be able to see these bobble stitches really well. I want you to be able to see them. So I'm going to go ahead and create this nice base that's nice and flat. And then once the bobble stitch is created, you'll go, oh, well, I got this now. Because once you know how to create one bobble stitch, you'll be good to go. But you're welcome to stick around, or you're welcome to go as soon as we get to that bobble stitch. You can skip over to it if you need to. All right, you guys, I went ahead and knitted that entire row. And I had to be a mediator for a moment. All right, so I'm going to turn my work. I'm again on the wrong side. All right, I'm going to pause the video for just a second. Purl this wrong side row, and we'll come back. All right, you guys, I am back. I'm in the middle of purling this last row. I have 4 rows of stockinette to build up that base so that I can do a bobble stitch, which is or bubble stitch. Whatever you want to call it, it is just cute. The cute stitch, the little cute stitch. I use this stitch to make a onesie for one of my friends at work. One of my coworkers just had a little sweet little baby girl, and I made this beautiful like little onesie for her. And anyway, I thought it was super cute, but I was a little worried to give it to her because I wasn't sure how it would wear on her, because I'd never made a onesie before and I never used cotton yarn before for it, but it turned out okay. I probably the next time will do something different. I was just trying to get it to her before the baby was born. But the bobble stitch is what I use to make that fun texture. All right, we are ready. We're going to turn our work. Okay, and now we are going to create our bobble stitch along this row. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see every fourth stitch, I'll create a bobble stitch. Okay?
I don't really like these.
Okay, you don't have to eat them. We're having some difference of taste opinions. Okay, all right, so bobble stitch. We're going to knit. Let's go ahead and knit 1, 2, 3. Okay, now here's where I'm going to create my bobble stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and knit the front, and then I'm going to turn and I'm going to stick I'm not going to take it off the needle, because normally I would just knit and pop it off, right? But I'm not going to, because I'm going to create a big old mess going on this particular loop right here. So, and it's the fourth one. So every fourth one, I'm going to try to create one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into it like I'm knitting, but I'm not taking it off. Okay, I'm increasing. So I'm going to go into the back loop, and I'm going to grab that yarn and I'm going to pull it through. Now I have two right here, and I'm going to keep doing this back and forth until I have 4 extra little stitches. Okay, so now I'm at 3, and I want a total of 5 to create my bobble stitch. So I'm adding 4 stitches. I'm going through the back again, and I'm scooping it up, and now I just need to do it one more time. So I'm going to go through, and it's a lot. It feels like a big old mess, but it's not. It is not. So I'm going to pop it off right here. And look, you can see the jumbled mess right here. Do you see all this? So there's 4 new ones, and there's 5 total. So I'm going to turn my work, and I'm just going to work those 5 stitches until I get the size of the bobble that I want. So I'm going to actually purl old school style when I do this, so that I can keep track of what's going on. Now, I guess I could purl like this, like continental, but sometimes I don't like to. Anyways, I moved my yarn over here, and I'm going to purl those stitches. This is the wrong side. This would be like the inside of your garment. And there we go. So now those 5 stitches are right there. And my friend just messaged me. She's going to call me in a minute. So I might have to stop the video. But you're going to knit 5 more across. So turn your work, and you're knitting those 5 stitches again. So you're creating that bobble because you're increasing stitches only in those 5 spots. And now we're going to go through and we're going to purl them again. So right now you can kind of see that it's starting to form. Okay, so I'm going to turn my work, and like I said, I'm only working those 5 bobble stitches. And so I'm going to purl them this time. And we're doing stockinette over those bobbles. So that's why you need to know how to stockinette, because you won't understand this if you don't. So baby steps, right? If you don't know how to knit and you don't know how to purl, you probably need to go back and learn that, right? Because you can't do these extra, really most stitches are based on these knits and purls. All right, we are done. We've got a bobble, and we're going to take it off. So you have a couple of options. This is what I do, and it just depends on the yarn. I sometimes take them all off at once, okay? And to do that might be kind of tricky if the yarn is too thick or kind of funky, but you want to knit them all together. And so, like I said, it can be kind of difficult to get them all together, but you're going to knit them together. Hold on one second. Like I said, it can be difficult if you miss one. All right, now I'm through all 5 of them. I'm going to go ahead and get my yarn like I'm knitting. Let's see. Let me let it focus. So it's a lot, but you're going to knit all 5 of them together. If I can get it. There we go. It's hard because I'm trying to watch it in the video. All right, there. I knitted them all together. And now, there is the bobble stitch. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to scoot it. And I'm going to be done with it. I'm going to knit across until I get to the 4th one. But there's your little bobble stitch. It reminds me of one of those little gnome noses right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see. There's the bobble. So I'm going to do 4. I'm going to knit 4 in between because that bobble is kind of big. And now let's make it the 5th stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and knit, but don't pull it off. Then you're going to knit through the back loop. You're going to knit through the front loop again on that same stitch and knit through the back loop. And now this should be 5, 2, 4. Oh, I need one more. There we go. All right. And that's it. So now I've got those 5 and I'm going to work them. And if my friend calls, I'm going to end the call or end this video. But that's how you create the bobble stitch. So I'm going to keep going. I'm turning my work now and I'm purling. All 5 of those little stitches. Back and forth. I'm going to purl, knit, purl, knit. And this is probably one of my favorite stitches. It's easy once you get the hang of it, because all it is stockinette, but you're like, I call it making a mess because you're just adding stitches that you're going back and forth. You're creating a bubble. All right. And then now I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to knit 5 and then I'm going to turn my work again and I'm going to purl those 5 and then I'm going to be done because I'm going to turn my work again. And then I'll be done with my bobble. And you can see, you can make your bobble as little or as big as you want it to be. So, I'm trying to think, I did a project, I'm in the middle of a project using yarn that's similar to this for a sweater that I wanted to create like abnormal, like they weren't all the same size. Like I wanted it to be like a fall kind of sweater. So none of the bobbles, well, some were the same size, but then some were not. So you can make your bobbles as big or as small as you want them to be by going back and forth and doing stockinette on those 5. So I always pictured possibly like using this stitch to create pockets or like pouches. And I'm not really sure how to do that, if that would even work. All right, I feel like this bobble is done. Yeah, I feel like this one's done. I'm going to go ahead and get all 5 of them off so you can see them. And this is going to be really tight. So I'm going to move it closer to the tip. And I'm going to put my finger there so they don't pop off the needle. But I'm moving it closer so I can get this big old tip of the needle off there. All right, so there are 3. I'm knitting through all 5. And if you want to, you can knit, 3 together and then knit 2 together and then knit those together. You can do that, but I want to get all 5. So that's what I did. So I knitted all 5 together. I'm going to pull it kind of tight. And there's my second bobble stitch. So I'm going to knit now, just knit across like normal. 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th one, you can create another. All right, so there is the little bobble stitches. Aren't they so cute? Boop, 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 boop. Like I said, it reminds me of like a little gnome's nose. I don't know. Cute, right? So you can set them as far or as close together as you want. In one pattern, I did a bunch of them, like 3 grouped together. And it was super cute. It turned out really cute. And, but I haven't finished the bottom of the sweater. I've just done the yoke. So let me see. Let me pause the video. Maybe I can find it so I can show you what it would look like. All right, I found it, and of course, I'm going to show you what yarn I used. This yarn I found at Yarn and Y'all, and it is very, very pretty. But the only problem is that it breaks really easily, and yeah, see, it breaks really easily. So it's really not good for crocheting, I think. Okay, I might be wrong, but I would assume this is mainly for knitting, because if you crochet, you know that you pull that yarn tight. But this yarn, I wouldn't suggest it for crochet. But knitting it works really well. So let me show you the sweater that I'm working on, and this one was for my mom, but I haven't finished it yet. See the little bobbles? And I've got leaves, and I like the fact that it's got a rolled, I know some people don't like that, but it's got like a rolled collar. Let me pull it up a little bit so y'all can see it. But these are the bobble stitch worked into a yoke, which I think it turned out really pretty. And this was with this Jody long yarn. And like I said, I wouldn't suggest this for crochet unless you don't crochet like really tight. But when you crochet, you pull a lot. And I feel like this yarn is not made for that, because it does. I mean, you saw me. I just pulled it apart. Well, maybe it's gotten better. Nope. See, it comes right off. But it's a very nice yarn, and I think this is normal for wool, alpaca, and viscose. I think that's the little dots throughout it, because this one is a what is it? What is it called? Speckled, but it's tweed. Tweed, that's what I was thinking of. Tweed, it has tweeted throughout. But this is a really pretty yarn. It's a little pricey, but I like the way it knits up. It knits up pretty quick. And I am using my Prim needles for this one as well. And anyway, so that's the end of my tutorial on bubble stitch. I hope you enjoyed it. And please like, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more videos of just different stitch patterns or anything that might help you better understand your knitting journey. Okay, love you. Please like, subscribe. Bye. Have a wonderful day.